Ohio, the werewolf of Defiance. During the summer of 1972, the people of Defiance claimed they were being terrorized by a werewolf. Sightings always happened at night, generally by the train tracks. A couple of women said it would try to get into their houses by rattling their doorknobs. The animal was said to be huge, hairy, and dressed in rags. But after the summer ended, the beast disappeared, never to be heard from again. But the story lingers. I like that the place is called Defiance, and that's where the werewolf is. That makes for a great tale. Some good classic Americana. Outrageous. A werewolf in rags too, eh? Do you think he defeated the curse, or died, or simply just moved on? Maybe he became extra stealthy and only did livestock and wanderers at that point. Who knows? Oklahoma, the mysterious shaman's portal. The portal is located in Beaver Dunes Park. The mysterious occurrences in Beaver Dunes Park have been attributed to the fact that it was built upon ancient Native American burial grounds, which is why it's called the Shaman's Portal. It's also known as the Oklahoma Bermuda Triangle. Mysterious things have happened in the park, starting with the Spanish conquistadores who went missing when searching for gold in the 1500s. Since then, paranormal activity seekers flocked to the dunes. Some people claim that a UFO crashed here, and a group in the 90s who tested the soil said it was abnormal. Interesting. So we've got UFOs, we've got gold, we've got abnormal soil, we've got a Bermuda Triangle, we've got a burial ground. It's called Beaver Dunes Park. There's a lot going on here in Oklahoma, and not just the musical? I'm right in saying that, yeah? I remember there being like a Simpsons episode about that. Let's move on. Pennsylvania, the bus to nowhere. In Philadelphia, there's rumored to be a bus that doesn't have an end destination. The story says that the bus only picks up passengers that are at their lowest moments who need to get away from their problems. Once the passenger is ready to face the world, they can get off the bus. But the passenger has no idea how long they've been on the bus for. Could have been hours, days, or even years. Now this one sounds like an episode of The Twilight Zone that I would watch the hell out of. Just hop on the bus, stew a little bit, think about your problems, maybe solve some, talk to the bus driver, talk to some other passengers, pop out ready to rock, and suddenly it's like 50 years later. You're like, oh shoot, how old are my children now? Whoops. Yeah. I wonder, is it like a click scenario where like you're still present in your life, but people like don't get as much from you, or are you just like gone, you disappear for years and then come back and you're like the same age that you were when you disappeared? Interesting. I'm honestly getting like a little bit of like Ghost World vibes here, when she hops on the bus at the end, although that one is implied, spoiler alert, that it's like the bus to the afterlife, so I don't know. Hello everybody and welcome back to Top 10 Central Dark, your place for all things horror. I'm your host Keegan Hughes and these are scary cryptid urban legends. Does a bus count as a cryptid? I guess. Let's get to it. South Dakota, Walking Sam and the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. The reservation is southeast of Deadwood, South Dakota. Purportedly over 7 feet tall and very slim, Walking Sam is said to appear on the streets of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation at night as he tries to convince teenagers to take their own lives. Walking Sam, you jerk! Teenagers are already very easily swayed, and you're gonna walk up to them as a tall, lanky man in the middle of the night and just say, hey, do it. Do it. I'm Walking Sam. They're like, yeah, you're probably right, Walking Sam. It doesn't go up from here. Oh, Walking Sam, you absolute jerk. You dick. Get out of here, Walking Sam. Utah, the curse of the Escalante Petrified Forest. While it is illegal to take anything from the Escalante Petrified Forest State Park, there is a legend that says that anyone who takes a piece of petrified wood from the park will be cursed with bad luck, sickness, and accidents. Park manager Kendall Farnsworth stated in 2014 that he gets about a dozen packages each year containing a piece of wood from the park and an apologetic letter detailing the sender's misfortunes. Wow. The petrified wood, eh? It's holding on to some evil energy. It's decided that since it doesn't get to live its life normally, if somebody decides to mess with it, they're going to cease to live life normally as well. Fascinating. That's funny that people send the wood back too, eh? They're like, if I send it back to the forest, it'll stop bothering me. What do you think would happen if instead of sending it back to the forest, you just sent it to somebody else? Like you mail it to like your friend across the country, or just like choose your enemy from high school, find out their location, and send them this wood. Does that transfer the wood curse to them? They wouldn't even know where it came from. Don't get any ideas. In Vermont, the frozen people. First appearing in a diary that was published in the late 1800s, the legend of hibernating old people recounts a tale of a poor family outside of Montpellier who couldn't afford to feed and clothe the oldest members of their family, so they froze the people and buried them. According to the tale, when spring rolled around, the elders thawed them out and they were just fine. They were just fine. This is like some Walt Disney stuff right here, some cryogenics, but like without the delicate balance of technology. They're just like, no, we're just gonna bury you in the frozen ground. Do you know how hard it is to dig a hole in frozen ground big enough to put somebody in? They wouldn't bury people who died in the winter. They just stick them in the freaking shack until spring because they couldn't get a hole in the ground. You think they're just gonna bury live people and be like, yeah, we'll get them in the spring? Imagine that. You wake up and it's like sort of thawing, but not enough to like get out of the ground yet, and you're like, I guess I'm just stuck underground now, and then you actually die. That's what they probably thought. They went to dig them up later. They're like, oh dang, they thawed too early. That's why they're dead. Not like they were buried alive in the dead of winter. That's why they're dead. Virginia, the Bunny Man. Bunny Man Bridge is in Clifton, Virginia. The Bunny Man's legend starts with what every good urban legend starts with, an insane asylum. The people of Clifton were so up in arms about the asylum that they were able to get all the patients transferred. The patients being moved on a bus that crashed, and the police were able to catch all the patients except for one, the Bunny Man. According to the tale, the Bunny Man lived in the woods and sustained himself on woodland creatures like bunnies, but eventually he attacked humans. Some people reported being attacked by a man with a hatchet. Others say that groups of teens would see a bright light and they would wind up dead and strung up over a bridge. How do we know they saw the white light? How do we know they saw it? How do we know that they saw anything if they just ended up dead anyway? They're like, this story's from when? It doesn't tell me. But it's definitely before cell phones were invented, so how did the teenagers discuss this bright light with people before they died? Huh? Bunny Man? You sure this isn't just the tale of Michael Myers escaping from a bus? Prison bus? Or the asylum itself? In Washington, we've got Bigfoot. Classic. Bigfoot is an internationally recognizable name and has been spotted all over the country, but Bigfoot has been spotted the most in Washington state. Bigfoot is essentially a gigantic ape-like creature who is either a ferocious beast who attacks loggers and hikers, or a gentle giant who wants to be left alone. Either way, there's something creepy about an undiscovered species of animal wandering around the Pacific Northwest, evading capture. You know what I have to say? If it's seen most in Washington, I would say that Bigfoot has political aspirations. Bigfoot for president. Make it happen, America. West Virginia, Mothman. Classic. The Mothman statue in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Love the Mothman statue. Mothman's dummy thick, bro. Mothman's got some cheeks on him. In 1966, stories say that West Virginia was visited by an insectoid flying creature with bright red eyes who resembled both a moth and a man. He was spotted flying around the town of Point Pleasant along with shining lights and the Men in Black. Oh. Mothman's origins have been claimed as supernatural, alien, or government experiment gone wrong. But Point Pleasant embraced the monster, erecting a statue, creating a museum, and even dedicating a festival to him. The Mothman is a good dude, you know? He predicts disasters, doesn't cause them. That's just all he's trying to do here. Leave Mothman alone. Devil's Tower in Wyoming. The Devil's Tower is located in the Bear Ridge Mountains, Wyoming. There's no scientific consensus on why Devil's Rock looks the way it does, but one Native American creation story attributes the landmark's shape to a tragedy. According to the story, a large group of Cheyenne girls were attacked and killed by a bear. Two escaped and found help from two boys who convinced the girls to act as bait. They climbed to the top of the tower and the bear tried to follow. The boys shot arrows at the bear and finally gave up, leaving scratches all along the rock as it slid down. Huh. Well, that one's not so scary. That's just a classic creation story. Gotta love saving some gals from bears, you know? If the bears are chasing you through the woods, it'd be nice to have a couple quick-thinking young lads with bow and arrows ready to rock. Gotta say. And that is all the time we have for today, folks. Hopefully these cryptid stories stick out in your brain for years to come. Tell them to your friends, your family, your progeny, whatever. Toss them down. Pass them down. Make sure you stick around some bloopers. I'm always saying some very ridiculous things, doing some very ridiculous things. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Scary cryptid urban legends. Oklahoma Bermuda Triangle. I want to get that tattooed on my lower back as a tramp stamp. Mysterious things have happened in the park. Just realized how inappropriate that joke is. Mysterious things have to... The Bunnyman's legend starts with whatever... According to the tale, the Bunnyman lived in the woods and sustained himself on wood... According to the tale, the Bunnyman lived in the woods and sustained... I am having a hiccup attack. Bigfoot is an internationally... Oh my god! Ugh. The boys shot ours.